Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Normally I'm doing videos about my two beautiful English Springer Spaniels, Denim and Diamond, but today what we're going to do is touring a mansion in Hendersonville, Tennessee. It's a historical home. It's called Spring Haven Mansion, and what they have there is just a beautiful piece of property where you can have weddings, or birthday parties or anything like that. You can also stay in a cabin or in the main house. Anyway, let's go check it out. I was talking to the gentleman that actually owns this place, and he and his wife, they're inside right now, and he was taking me on a little tour. And I decided to come grab my phone. So they do wedding events here, or any kind of event actually, and Airbnb those cabins out there, and I think they Airbnb in here, but I'll find out. But you got to check this out. It's just so beautiful. This is...
There you are. Oh, hey.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so I'm going to let you tour for us.
Well, come on over here. We'll start. We should have you come through the front door so you can get the
full effect.
Big effect, walking into everything.
Right.
I think this is pretty cool here too. That's the original key.
Yeah.
That actually opened the door way back.
Okay.
So, welcome to Spring Haven. Ignore all the dead plants over there. Hopefully those are going to get better. So this house was built in 1825 by Dr. John Wagner, who was Andrew Jackson's physician. And that's very cool. All of the stuff in the house is original still. The floors, Andrew and John went down to New Orleans and picked up this southern yellow pine, or they chose it, and it was delivered up here. All of this glass work that you see throughout this part of the house, the transom, this is all original glass from Natchez, Mississippi, where they went down as well. And you probably can't pick it up on your camera, but you can see the bubbles and the waves and all
in the glass.
The glass when you get up close to it. Yes, but this one over here is a lot better, Andrew. If you look right here, see the bubbles throughout and the waves. This one up here is really good. But all of that glass is custom made glass for this house. Back from the early 1836, I think, is when they put the glass in. So that's kind of cool too. But that there. The foyer is only, like I said, upstairs, all wood floors throughout upstairs as well. This was an L-shaped farmhouse when they built it. So you had this room and the one over here and then the back, and then we'll go over there, and the upstairs followed the same. We call this the Jackson room, or the red room, if you will. Some people do. This is, we think, where the gentlemen would come and hang out, because they had to be segregated back then. So the men would come in here and drink brandy and smoke cigars and tell stories. There is no telling how many, countless numbers of very famous people throughout history, powerful kings and queens, and Andrew Jackson himself has been in this very room where we're standing right now. So you can kind of do some of this, touch the wall and feel, just really, I do this all the time. It's like, oh wow, this is so cool. I'm leaning right on the same spot, probably where all these famous people,
powerful people of the country,
cool.
or the world at that.
This chandelier, I don't know that it was original to the house, but it is actually an old gas chandelier. You see the little knobs coming out on each of the tubes. That would fill with kerosene, and they could adjust the wick, so they've converted it to electric, obviously. Okay. That's a really cool chandelier.
Yeah. And tell me about the banister again.
Oh, yeah, sure. So during the Civil War, the story goes, there was you can hear Tammy making her smoothie in there, sorry. But during the Civil War, there was a Confederate soldier or person who was here, a Union person staying here. And when John Hunt Morgan came marching by with his troops, on the front Gallatin Road there, they took a couple of shots at him, and they sent two horsemen down here on horseback, two cavalrymen, came in, the house, kicked the door open, came through, took their swords and hacked and slashed everything and actually split this banister. If you look on these spindles right up here, yeah, you can go up there if you want and look down at it, but see the split? And they patched that back together to salvage this one long piece of board that they had fashioned into the handrail, so that's pretty cool. Kind of a neat story in the road off out the back door. The concrete there was actually the back of the house, at least that step. And so you go in here to this room, parlor, and this is where we think the women would hang out, over here. As a wedding venue, we keep this kind of sparsely furniture, you know, there's not a lot of stuff in here because the brides like to come in and do what they want to do with it. Oh, yeah. And helps them to be better prepared. This piano that you see, sorry, let me get out of your way.
You're okay.
This piano over here is actually a 1921 Kurzweil D-play. Me neither, but it's stunning. It sounds absolutely perfect. So we'll have pianists and musicians will come for parties and such, and they'll play and entertain here just like they did, 200 years ago. But that's pretty cool. This chandelier is not original to the house at all. That's actually a newer, but it's really pretty. The one that was here, so the story goes, at one point belonged to the state of Tennessee. When the state capital was in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. You come on through here, and this is the dining room as it was used back in the day. We have it set up kind of for a conference tonight that's going on. But really pretty, this back staircase. This is actually called a traveler's staircase. And this goes up to the bridal suite now. So if you want to go look at that, you can.
Okay.
Different build, but back in the day, this is really cool. When travelers would come by, after the War of 1812, they enacted the law where you were required to house people. And it was mainly for the British soldiers who were in town. So it used to be, you would have to, if you had people, they could come out here in the parlor, which was the patio at the time, but park their horse, come in this back door and go up here and have a place to stay. Okay. The Quartering Act, that's what that's called. It's fun, it's a really pretty kind of a room, great little getaway. They can decorate it however they want to, see what's going on, a lot of fun. But it's a neat spot. The sunroom here, I've got a fly in here. So this was closed in. This over here was actually the original kitchen to the house, and you can see the brickwork. You see this was a separate building. So this was open. You always built this apart from the house because you don't want your house to burn down if the kitchen caught fire. But now this is a bedroom for Airbnb. This whole thing, in fact, we go through that little kitchen all the way down, is available.
Okay. That's great. For Airbnb.
Yeah, for Airbnb, Verbo stuff. We have guests who stay here every week with us that we've become really good friends with. Hi, Bill and Joy, whenever y'all like. So, the cool thing too, this actual wall here that you see, the guy who owned this in the 1950s was also owned a lumber company and the furniture company, Crescent Furniture. Have you probably heard of Crescent? He owned the Crescent Furniture. Okay. So they owned this property. And he told his guys at the time, hey, I want y'all to come do something nice. So this is actually cherry lumber. It's not paneling. This is solid
beautiful.
Cherry.
Yeah.
And they redid this whole room back in the 1950s, it is really, really, really pretty.
That's fabulous.
So, yeah, and we'll come out here on the back side. I'll show you where the smokehouse is, because this is actually kind of cool too. This building as well. Oops, sorry. This building is off in that kitchen. We were just in the kitchen, and then you would come in here to the smokehouse, which is completely awesome, I think. And one of the coolest parts about this place, we got the original meat hooks and all from how they would hang stuff back then. But I mean, it's gigantic, and it still smells like smokehouse.
Isn't that amazing after all that time?
Yeah, but you can see all of the the lard and grease and everything that's been in over the however many hundreds of years that this was around. It's just crazy cool.
That is just awesome.
This little thing here, which I find amazing, can you see those little bitty bricks right there that are like loose looking? Yeah. So there's 3 sets. There's one here, and up top. Those were built into the kitchen when they made the structure back in 1825, and it's actually ventilation for keeping things. When it was wintertime, you would plug those holes and keep the heat and smoke in here.
Okay.
And in the heat of summer, when it got too hot, you could pull out however many you wanted and let it vent out, which is just a genius level of development for 1825. I think those people were pretty dang smart.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and if you look at the end of the house when you go outside, you can actually see those.
Okay.
See those three things pretty easily.
I can't.
And tomorrow it's going to be like 57 or something crazy.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable. So you see the 3 sets of
Yep.
things there. So that's how it is. Which I think is again, that's pretty dang cool engineering wise, how they were able to know to do that.
Right.
That's Spring Haven in a nutshell. You can go out front and make a picture if you want from the front. Oh, this is the original spring house. There's actually, this is full of water, believe it or not. Oh. And it feeds the creek that goes all around. It runs year round. There's an underground cave in this building that's right over there off the back corner. And it's, I don't know how deep it is, but it stays full of water and feeds the creek that runs out. Never been dry, ever, not one time. So it's pretty cool. I don't know if you want to go, you can't really go in and stand on a concrete platform if you're super brave.
Nah.
But,
and it's, yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Wow. It's amazing.
You can jump right on that thing if you want to and look around back in there. It is super awesome. And it's very steady.
Leave my
There's
key
a
out.
pump work there. So just don't fall in.
Right.
Isn't that crazy? And you see all the way back to the back. The cave is back in the very, very back off to the right. That's where the tunnel comes out. But the guy who was here in the 60s actually took pipes and ran out of here and all over the farm. There are hand spigots. There's about 5 of them that go to all different kinds of places. I'll get the door. Down in the center of the backyard. And those all for irrigation.
Right.
So it's free water. It's pretty cool. Right up here. So,
oh yeah. And what is this?
So this, I think, was a fireplace that somebody, this was not original. I promise you that somebody added this just by the design of it and the concrete.
Right.
I think, but I'm pretty sure somebody built that back whenever. So if you look that way right there, especially during the spring and winter and fall, you know, this is not winter. When the trees are out, it blocks the house over there.
Right.
And you can see this. It's really, really pretty. So over here's the creek. They built this little trench and rocked it in, which is awesome. This used to this is the spillway where the creek comes down.
Right. Fabulous.
That's really cool. How you see the little fish running there back inside?
That's fabulous. Oh my goodness.
And if you come over on this side over here, you can really see so this goes around and all the way out under and between the little past the barn. That silver top barn, that was actually what we call the sheep barn back in the day. That's where they would shear the sheep, and also they would make the peach brandy that Spring Haven was notoriously famous for.
Okay.
So kind of cool too. But yeah,
oh, look at these little flowers. What are they called?
Hellebores. Hellebores.
Hellebores. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're pretty. And again, that's a sign for me because it was dead as brown around it, you see, and they've come back. So we're hopeful that a lot of this brown dead stuff will actually come back and be a part of everything. And I've never seen it do this. The tree stems and all, when you go to look, they're very pliable and they're green back really, really hard. But they said to wait until April or maybe even May.
Right.
To do much later. It's just an old
the old carriage house.
Building. Yeah, the carriage house.
Like their old garage.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So lots of neat, pretty stuff around here.